So this is a video that I've been planning for quite a while, and by quite a while I mean months. I've been doing a little bit of research into a Sinder group which has been doing some pretty crazy stuff behind the scenes, and I just kind of had to cover all of this because I've been in the server watching what they've been doing, and a lot of the stuff they've been doing is absolutely abhorrent. Now, just to give you a little rundown of what they've been doing, and we will go into all of the evidence behind this, is they've been doing stuff, for example, like targeting ShyLily by doing stuff like doxing her face and things like that in the chat, and also just kind of being really weird about her and other VTubers, like rating them, and kind of just exposing a lot of information in the chat which shouldn't be shared between anybody, as well as making threats to some of ShyLily's editors, and also to myself, and also kind of making comments about other creators in the space, including Tectone, who also has been mentioned quite a bit in these chats as well. Now, let me take you back to where all of this started. If you guys know, obviously Sinder got in a lot of drama, and it was a whole massive thing that went on, and me and a couple of other content creators, including like Toma, obviously, as you know, made some videos on it talking about the drama, and I've made quite a lot of videos since talking about everything surrounding the Sinder drama. Now, around the time whenever all of this kind of kicked off, I essentially got an invite from some random person being like, hey, this is a server full of Sinder mods that you want to check out. So I joined the server, obviously didn't think much about it, and I actually quickly found out that the server isn't actually full of Sinder mods. So again, I was misled there, but it was filled with a ton of patrons and high gifting subs and whatever people in this Discord who are actually all talking crap about all of these other people and all of these creators in this little Discord server. And obviously, usually I'm not the biggest of people to care about this kind of stuff. There's always people that are going to be talking bad about people behind the scenes. Who cares? But the fact is, they went so far with the whole doxing and stuff that I really wanted to expose it. And I was going to hold this out for even longer, but I've actually been banned from the server now. They actually found out. They were that dumb enough, by the way, and you'll see how parasocial and dumb they are throughout all of these screenshots. But they were that dumb enough to not even notice while they were talking about me in the server that I was in the member list. This isn't a big server. It had around about 20 to 30 people, I'd say. And I was in the server, and you could see me in there. I'm constantly online. I wasn't hiding it at all. And they didn't notice until like a couple days in of talking about me, which was crazy. Now, we can start off with this rule set here, which kind of sets off like kind of an interesting precedent. Obviously, a lot of the normal rules, no NSFW. But they also say number 6, speculation of Red and Cinder's private relationship and what they should/shouldn't do doesn't belong here, which honestly, it's a fine rule. But whenever you go into how they've been digging up other VTubers' personal lives, I feel like, they're kind of like being a little bit more biased towards Sinder and kind of going after these other VTubers. So we go into this first screenshot. Now, I'm going to find it really hard to read out some of this because obviously they're talking, for example, about Lily and, obviously what she looks like. Now, I've actually censored all of the images. This is what these white screens are, and also some of the text alluding to what she looks like because, again, this is absolutely horrible, and I don't want to kind of expose any of that. Obviously, that would be absolutely terrible on ShyLily's part. So if if ShyLily, if you are watching this video, again, I've censored everything out of this, and hopefully, you can take action against these people because it is horrible. And essentially, yeah, they're talking about the fact of her looks, and yeah, here in this picture here was a picture apparently of her face. Now, I don't know what ShyLily looks like, I'm going to be honest, but these people in the group chat believe that that is her. Now, maybe there's some information out there that I don't know about, but these people are very, very adamant that this is, for example, her, and this is, what they're talking about here. They say they never seem to remember the fact with guys. They say she looks fine. She looks like someone they used to know. I don't know, man. Lily isn't great of a looker to begin with. She's fine, but And I just find that super weird that people are even talking about that in the first place, especially with photos that, they shouldn't even be looking at. Now, obviously, they do it again. This is another link, and this is more evidence behind, this is actually what they were sharing, because you can see here, I've kept the bit unblurred where it says ShyLily face reveal, because obviously, that kind of proves the fact that this was a thing that they were sharing. Now, they say, so what are you going to do with this info? Now, I don't know what they're alluding to here in this chat. I don't know what they are planning on doing in the future, but it seems like they are planning something. They say, so what are you going to do with this info? And cool, looks like we found her. I mean, that is just not something you say. Like, I understand some people just being like casually interested. I mean, there's a lot of parasocial VTuber fans out there, but like, it seems like they're like the FBI and they've just kind of like, they've been like, yeah, we finally found her. Like, we finally got a trace on her. Like, what are they doing? Like, seriously, what are they planning on doing? And it's just really weird to me because, again, I'm here watching all of this info just being like spread on this chat. And I'm just like no one knows that this is going on in the background. Now, they keep going saying, current working theory is that this isn't the first time she's done this to someone, and this is a big trend in the Discord server, by the way. They really hate ShyLily. I would say out of all the VTubers that are, kind of brought up in this situation, ShyLily is the one that they hate the most, and they talk about at length about different theories about, things she's done in the past, and they were also instigating a lot of the clips that we saw, a couple of weeks ago that I covered of her, old clips being brought up of keyloggers and things like that, which even ShyLily said was a wrong and bad thing to do. And obviously we got another kind of case of this happening. They're saying Lily's face is out there, she hasn't been able to remove them all. Obviously, yeah, they're just trying to find out essentially what she looks like, bringing up even more websites and even more links of this kind of stuff, saying, yeah, no, that's her, like 100%. And again, I feel like it's just so dumb to dig up all of this stuff, especially, because they're not doing it because they're interested in her or anything. Not that that would be okay in the first place, but they're doing it because they hate her, and I don't know what they are planning to do with that. They didn't really mention it, but they have been sharing that very actively in this group. Now, we can keep going on as well. Obviously, they keep comparing Lily to Cinder as well, obviously, because, all of this is done in the kind of effort to redeem their queen, I guess, in terms of, Cinder. And they're saying Cinder at least shows her eyes, whereas Lily doesn't show anything. I think they're referring to, like, con meetups and things like that. But again, it just, like, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. And I find it extremely weird and parasocial that people are going and digging up all of this kind of stuff. Now, obviously, we go on to Tectone now. This is the stuff that they talk about to do with Tectone. By the way, there's way more stuff about ShyLily in there. There's just too much to screenshot, and obviously I was banned, so I didn't have enough time to screenshot literally everything, but you can kind of get the idea of how terrible that this server is, and that these people are going behind the scenes, and they've even had contact with some of Cinder's official mods, and are actually trying to spread false information to them, which could, kind of hinder stuff in the future. Now, they say, I genuinely hope that Baldy offs himself. I know his entire online history, thanks to being in a gacha server he made an utter clown himself on. Everyone would be better off without his fat ass stinky up the place and making people's lives miserable. Now, I don't know if you've seen Tectone recently, but like, he's not exactly fat. Like, I'm gonna be honest. He's if anything, he's the opposite of fat, which is kind of crazy. Obviously, he's gone under a pretty incredible transformation, and yeah, kind of just like wishing this on someone is absolutely unhinged. And it gets worse, by the way. Obviously, I feel like telling someone to off themselves is quite a common thing on the internet. I mean, we see it all the time. Like low tier god, things like that. It's a very common phrase on the internet in general, but it gets worse, and you'll see. And yeah, essentially they keep talking about Tectone a lot, talking about a lot of the videos that he makes on ShyLily, and they mainly dislike the fact that he's defending ShyLily, and that's also the fact of me. They dislike the fact that I'm defending a lot of what ShyLily says. I even had a screenshot or a notification of someone like direct messaging me being like, why don't you make more videos defending ShyLily or something like that, which is just so dumb. But again, obviously, yeah, they're saying like, this video pisses me off so much. No, I'm sorry, it just came out. Camellia is the one that embodies a stupid kid with no touch reality. Again, they're literally just here hating on any VTuber essentially that isn't Cinder, or someone that has, kind of actively spoke out against Cinder. And yeah, even more stuff about Tectone, saying, oh god, someone at Tectone in a reply. Oh no. Obviously, yeah, they're talking about a kind of Twitter thread. Obviously, they like to back each other up in Twitter threads as well to kind of brigade the post, add more likes on top of it, which again is something that they've just been doing behind the scenes and trying to gather up a lot of stuff. They've had a lot of chats as well with links, linking to things what they could share and everything like that around that could try to refute a lot of the stuff that's gone on with Cinder, even though that should be up to Cinder herself to do that, not these random schizos in a Discord server. And obviously we keep going. They talk about CottonTail now, which obviously was another person who was involved in the situation, and they say, oh, it gets worse for Cotton. And I feel like this is pretty terrible because they talk about her birthday. Obviously, it was CottonTail's birthday the other day, and essentially, she's saying she's happy about a stream and stuff, and then it says followed by she's in the ER with her mum, and apparently her mum isn't very well, which obviously is horrible, and that's horrible to have as a birthday. And she says she had a horrible birthday. This person says she had a horrible birthday. And then they said, karma comes back around swinging, boo-hoo Cotton. I mean, how insensitive can you be? You know, even if you hate this VTuber with everything, obviously, it's absolutely terrible to be kind of wishing this stuff upon, you know, people, and especially, you know, CottonTail, who is obviously having a tough time with her mum or whatever, you know, they're saying that it's karma, and that, you know, say boo-hoo, to like saying who asked. I mean, bro, these people are so like parasocial towards Sinder. It's crazy, you know, they will do anything to kind of discredit or to kind of make fun of all of these VTubers, even if it is making fun of, you know, someone's misfortune. Now, we can keep going as well. They also talk about Cotton and her kind of looks as well. Obviously, Cotton's appearance is public online, and they say, yeah, kind of mid, not gonna lie, and I'm gonna be real, if you've seen CottonTail, yeah, that's just like wrong. And they obviously go on to Pierre, who, if you don't remember, I made a video about this the other day, who is a editor for ShyLily. And essentially what happened at TwitchCon was he was going around giving away ShyLily V cards that were signed by her at TwitchCon, wearing a shirt that says "It's Just Business." Now, this blew up in the Sinder space. I made a full video if you guys want to go watch that. But essentially, it's referencing the whole Sinder drama of the "It's Just Business" line. And people, you know, were not happy with the fact that he was walking around with that. Or I say people, Sinder fans weren't happy with that. And they say, yeah, oh, fuck Pierre for this shirt. And they say, if you find me at TwitchCon, I'm giving away these cards. Now they go one step even further. Bear in mind, this guy's wearing a t-shirt and just giving away V cards. I'm going to kill this man straight up if I ever see him. That's what they said. Now, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but again, they said I'm straight up going to him. And it's kind of crazy, you know? Like, someone who's going to go that far to say that they are going to do that to someone over a shirt at TwitchCon is pretty mental. I mean, getting this kind of riled up behind a lot of this kind of drama, all over this kind of, you know, one t-shirt, one little joke that was very, very innocent. I'm going to be honest, that joke isn't really that much of a target at Sinder. It's just kind of like a joke that's been making a positive situation out of a bad one, which, again, I don't think is anything wrong with that. But again, you know, obviously some people were even going like, whoa, man, that's a little bit too far. Maybe let's not go as far as like saying that kind of stuff. They're saying no killing, which again is funny. And they say, I bet he has a very puntable face. Yeah, punt him to an end. So they're saying they want to kick him. Which again is pretty crazy. Now, obviously, they keep going as well, and we're getting onto the falsifying of evidence now, which essentially is this. This Lightfire guy, who obviously is the same one that said this stuff about ShyLily's editor, they essentially say this is a screenshot with the moderator for ShyLily's, not ShyLily's, Sinder's server. Sinder's moderator, who is currently, you know, retrying to get up all the chats and stuff. Now, credit to Sinder's moderator here, because this person essentially goes, hey, I've got this thing, and say this isn't exactly 100% real if you're okay with that. However, you can't tell it's edited, as I pixel counted to make sure the places were perfect. So they essentially made a fake screenshot. They're saying, damn, Sinder's still in offline chat. I wonder if she left her PC on. Again, this is something to do with just like saying that she's still, you know, there, and that she's still online, and that she's still looking at chat, and they falsified that. And then obviously this dude's just like, yeah, no, we can't falsify anything. Like, these people are trying to contact the Sinder moderators to falsify this stuff. Now, there's even more proof. This light guy actually even said, it's a fake one I made. I can't use it. So they even admit to the fact that they're trying to fake stuff to do with Sinder to try either, you know, bring the community back up together. And it's kind of weird that, you know, all of this false information is now being spread around. And, you know, it just begs the question, what stuff in a lot of this drama is actually real and what is fake? Because, again, there's people that are falsifying things like this. Now, I don't think this is the biggest deal in the world, because, again, it's just saying that Sinder is online on a broadcaster. It doesn't really change anything. But whenever it comes to other stuff, we've seen how involved in situations they get with all of the previous stuff. What other stuff are they actually going after? It's pretty mental. Now, they keep going as well. Obviously, this is now on about me and my videos. This is when they started talking about me, which was a day or so before I got banned. And they essentially say, these thumbnails I seethe over, like I cannot take them. Forget low tier god, I'm killing these MFs myself if I see them. Now, I'm gonna say, you know, this dude is probably built like a Discord mod, so I would happily take him on. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care. And obviously, they're talking about the amount of videos that I've made on the situation so far, which I do agree is a lot. But let's be real, people were enjoying the videos, people were informed by the videos, they're still getting a ton of likes, more so than dislikes, and that tells me that people want to see more content like that. Now, if people were hating on it and being like, hey man, let's stop doing this, then yeah, obviously I would stop, and you know, if there was no new information, then also I wouldn't say anything. But there's been all of this information coming out that obviously I've continued to make videos on it, and they've done well. You know, people click on them, people like them, which obviously means that people want to see more of them. So I keep doing them. Now, I think it's way too far to go and say that they wanted to do this to me. And obviously, as I said, I would happily take them on. I mean, I'm going to be honest, this Dusty guy, I don't know who they are, but, you know, threatening me in that way is kind of crazy. Now, obviously, they keep going as well. They're talking about my stuff about the Lucy Pie video I made. I made a video about Lucy Pie getting banned. They say, look at this guy, didn't take long, milked it for a near 9-minute video, what a vulture. I mean, I'm just talking about a VTuber situation, I'm just covering the news. I mean, I didn't say anything negative. If anything, I was positive towards Lucy Pie, and I said that, you know, she didn't deserve to get banned, things like that. And obviously, yeah, they keep going on and on. They said, yeah, like, holy, all of these drama channels need to get removed. I mean, I'm just covering stuff that is going on in the space. I mean, I don't know why these people were getting so annoyed at that. But again, if they don't want to see it, then that's fine. They don't have to watch my content. But the thing is, they love it. You know, they secretly love it. They secretly love looking at all of these videos, getting annoyed about it, because they are addicted to getting annoyed. You know, and they can't just go and hide a channel or block it or whatever just because they don't want to see it. I understand if you don't want to watch drama content. Totally fine. But the fact is, you know, this Lucy Pie video got 10,000 views. People want to see this content. Obviously, people want to see this content. And it got like, you know, well, I think it was like 93% likes out of the like ratio. So people liked the video. And so I'm going to continue to do it because that is something that is a space in the VTuber space. You know, there's only a few people that actually also do this kind of stuff. So I will continue to do it because it seems like the wider community do enjoy this kind of content. And obviously we keep going. They keep talking about even more stuff. They're saying this is almost Asmongold levels of deranged, which is funny because, again, I like Asmongold. So that's almost an honor to say that I'm like him. And again, this is where we get into the parasocial stuff. Essentially, this person saying this is also like talking about whenever the whole Sinder stuff actually went down. They said, well, my sleep has been effed up. I can't imagine how much worse hers is because of all of this. They've been losing sleep over this Sinder drama. They said, I hear you. First few days, I couldn't sleep for anything. Worry and anxiety for her kept my mind to active. Eventually, on the like 4th day, I got myself some melatonin gummies just to be able to sleep. This dude lost 4 days of sleep over Sinder having an altercation online. If that doesn't scream parasocial, I don't know what does. I don't, you know, think about your most favorite content creator ever. Have you ever lost sleep over any kind of drama they've gotten into? You know, I don't think I've ever tossed and turned over at the fact of, like, you know, Tectone getting in the drama that he's been in over the past couple of months. We're like, no, Tectone, no, I can't sleep. I can't imagine what he's going for. No, obviously, you know, you can feel empathetic or whatever and be like, hey, you know, that's terrible. I'm sorry that's kind of happening. But, like, losing sleep for 4 days and having to get melatonin gummies to go and sleep is absolutely outrageous and mental. I mean, again, it just kind of proves the fact of what kind of mentality they are in with a lot of this Sinder stuff and why they're actually doing this, you know, thing. It's because they love Sinder so much and they hate to see, you know, a lot of this stuff happening, even though it's justifiably so. You know, a lot of these stuff and the evidence that has come out is very, very much provable. And, you know, it's very obvious that she has done a lot of wrong here, but they cannot accept that. Now, keep going on. There's more cringe stuff as well, which I just kind of added at the end. Like this person, for example, saying, I nearly choked on my pyro power when I first saw it. Like, yeah, guys, I almost choked on my Sinder branded gamer subs after seeing this. Yeah, guys, I'm a true Sinder fan, I swear. Like, bro, it's crazy. And then finally, this is me getting banned. This is someone talking to the guy who invited me. Essentially, yeah, saying, did you invite Kazahana? Oh my god, I can't believe you let him in. He's going to find all our secrets. I don't know what happened to the server. I'm pretty sure it's down now. I'm pretty sure I got told it got taken down. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the clips and all of the different screenshots that I wanted to bring up in this video because, again, these people are unhinged. Like, they should not be allowed in the space. They should not be allowed to do this stuff in the background, especially, you know, kind of contributing to Twitter. Because, again, even with the ShyLily stuff, you know, all the doxing that they've been doing, in the background. I don't know what they're planning on doing that. You know, obviously they've been orchestrating a lot of Twitter posts, they've been orchestrating a lot of Google Docs, everything like that in the background, which again, maybe one of those is going to feature some of this stuff that we've covered today, and that's going to be terrible. So I hope that, you know, this does bring a little bit of light to how absolutely crazy some of these Sinder fans can be. Now, I'm not saying it's all of them, by the way. I do want to add that at the end of this video, that a lot of the Sinder fans are kind of chill. Some people don't support what she did, maybe like the artwork, maybe like, you know, the times in the past, you know, the memories that they've had. That's totally fine. And also there's some people that don't agree with it, but still want to support her or whatever, which I also think is totally fine as well. And you're very, very much in your right. But it's the people like this who ruin it for everyone, who are going in the background and trying to bring down other streamers, other content creators, and other VTubers in the space just because their favorite VTuber got banned off the space. And I think it's absolutely horrible. And, you know, I just wanted to bring a ton of light to this situation. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. This is a pretty long video for me. I usually do around 10 minutes, but we're reaching the 21-minute mark here. So again, if you guys did enjoy it, leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys think about this, because I thought it was pretty crazy. I mean, maybe you guys don't think it's as much of a big deal. I thought it's a pretty big deal, especially with a lot of the ShyLily stuff and the threats that they were kind of dishing out to a lot of people. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'll keep you guys up to date if there is anything else going on. And also, go for game subs, use my code CASA, get 10% off, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.